Hi, this is Matthew Almeida. Last year, Father Balmix was caught up in a controversy for mentioning Shivaji Maharaj in his sermon. A lot of Hindu groups, Shiv Premis, accused Father Balmix for hurting their religious sentiments for saying that Shivaji Maharaj is not a god. And taking this as a basis, they filed an FIR against him in the Vasco police station. Father Balmes was out on bail and a case was going on in the High Court to squash the FIR filed against him. On 12th April 2024, the High Court pronounced this judgment and quashed the FIR filed against Father Balmes. But it's interesting to see the whole proceedings and the judgment pronounced by the High Court and why it said that this FIR is false and actually doesn't relate to hold Father Balmex as accused. So what happened in the court? The full sermon that Father gave was translated into English and produced before the court. The bench was comprised of Justice Valmiki Menezes and Justice M.S. Sunak. So it's very interesting to know how the flow goes on of this judgment proceedings and why the bench of judges declared that the FIR is false, not reliable, and should be quashed. So the judges took references of previous cases that were handled by the high courts of various states and also by the Supreme Court. First, to begin with, it took the reference of the case of Ramji Lal Modi versus Uttar Pradesh state. Now, let us remember this. When FIR was filed against Father Balmex, Section 295A and 504 of the Indian Penal Code was used against him to file this FIR. Same sections were used against Ramji Lal Modi by the state of Uttar Pradesh. And then what happened is the High Court in that state said that Section 295A demands that whenever somebody is making a statement, derogatory statement against somebody's religious beliefs, it has to have a consequential effect. If that effect is not there, it cannot be considered as hurting religious sentiments or instigating communal divide. Let me read to you what the court had said in this case, and the same court was used by the High Court of Bombay in Goa to quash the FIR against Father Balmex. It says Section 295A of IPC, Indian Penal Code, does not penalize any and every act of insult to or attempt to insult the religion or the religious beliefs of a class of citizens, but it penalizes only those acts of insults to or those varieties of attempts to insult the religion or religious beliefs of a class of citizens which are perpetrated with the deliberate intention to outrage religious feelings of that particular class of citizens. So this passage was used, and since same section was used against Father Balmex, it was taken cognizance of this case. Or you can say the advocates of the petitioners produced another case before the bench of Manzar Said Khan versus the government of Maharashtra or the state of Maharashtra, where an FIR was filed against him under the same section 295A, and in this section the court had given a clear stance saying that it has the speech which is given. Only a section of that speech cannot be taken and used against the person. We need to take the whole speech. You remember what had happened in Father Balmex's case? Only a section of his sermon was taken where he says Shivaji Maharaj is not God. Only this section was taken and used against him. So it was in the same case of Manzar Sayyid Khan. And the court said we cannot take only a section of it. We have to take the whole speech. And if you look at Father Balmex's case, the advocates of Father Balmex said in the court that if you look at the full sermon, he has not insulted Shivaji Maharaj. Because if you read the statement, he is not God, but he has also said he is a national hero, he is a warrior, and he deserves our respect and honor. He has said this. So we need to take cognizance of the whole speech, or at least that section where he mentions Shivaji Maharaj and what he has said, everything that he has said in relation to him. Bench of judges also explain section 504, where section 504 it demands that a real event should happen as a consequence of this speech which instigates violence or communal hatred or tensions. If those things are not there, and a continuous persuasion is not done by the speaker to create that type of situation, it cannot be considered as a hate speech or hurting religious sentiment, or cannot be considered as trying to outrage religious feeling. When it comes to Father Balmex and Shivaji Maharaj, there is one more case that was used in as reference of Professor James Lane, who had written a book Shivaji, a Hindu king in a Islamic India. And the High Court also had put this ban, but the Supreme Court took up this case and uplifted this ban. The Supreme Court said that please prove to us where has this book caused religious communal divide or tensions, and also it upholded the freedom of speech in this case, and therefore the ban was uplifted and the case was dismissed. So this was also taken into consideration. And finally, the court narrated one incident from the life of Shivaji Maharaj, where a woman threw a stone on a mango tree and Shivaji Maharaj was passing by and the stone fell on him. The guards came and arrested her and produced her before Shivaji Maharaj. And Shivaji Maharaj said, you know, when you throw the stone on this tree, the tree itself is not reacting against you. He said, why should I do something against you then? And that too, she had not done this intentionally. So he let her go. So based on all this, the case against Father Balmex, the FIR was quashed. Now, my dear friends, when we evaluate this case becomes a very good foundation, first of all, for priests in Goa, who many times, make their people aware of the wrongs that are happening, the social injustices that are happening. And some groups like this try to shut their mouths by filing false cases like this. This judgment is a booster, is an encouragement for priests to continue speaking against social injustices, to continue making people aware about their politicians, what wrong they do, and so on and so forth. That the priests, as religious leaders for their community, have the liberty and the right to make them aware of what is right and what is wrong, even if it comes in the political sphere. This is one thing. And then for us lay people, that we need to continue making others aware, and we have the right to evaluate historical figures even if they are termed as religious figures. We have the right. So in this judgment, stress has been given, a lot of stress given to freedom of speech. In fact, the court puts, the bench of judges put a quote from Voltaire, who is an advocate of freedom of speech, who said, I disagree with you in whatever you are saying till to the death, but till my death, I will fight for the fact that you have the freedom to speak out your opinion. So this is what the court took cognizance of and quashed the FIR against Father Balmex. But there are certain institutions that come under question. First of all, the Vasco police. Why did you even file the FIR? Don't you have a basic knowledge of the laws and rules that you are filing cases against people? तुमकां जर तर बारीक सोजमोनी पासून ना पुलिसांक ना सोजमोनी जर बेश्टेच केसी तुम्ही बरोवन घेनाकात. कंप्लेन घेवप हे वेगळे, FIR करप वेगळे न्हू. म्हजो एक थिंगा इश्ट आसलोलो when this happened, he was near the Vasco police station. थिंगाचे पुलीस म्हणटा आवय ह्या लोकांनी हिंगा झुंड केले, आमचेर प्रेशर पडलो आनी म्हूण आमी ती केस फायल केली. वी वर प्रेशरायज्ड बाय द मॉब. फकाणां करूंक गेल्या तुमी. Police who are trained to control a mob felt helpless before this small crowd, जाल्यार आमी पुलिसांक पातयेवंक जाता. आनी दुसऱ्यो असल्यो केसी जाल्यो तेन्ना जेन्ना दुसऱ्यांनी केल्यो तांचेर पुलीस एक्शनूच घेयना. That means a mob from another community does not pressurize them to take action against those people who once pressurized these people. आणि तिसरें म्हणटा तें, we need to question our own chief minister, who on the floor of the house in the assembly brought up this issue of the sermon of Father Bolmax आणि व्हडलो बोवाळ केलो. ही वस्त गोवा असेंब्लीन व्हरपाची, दुसऱ्यो कांयच गरजेच्यो वस्तू नासल्यो. इतलो भिव पुरो जाला तूं सीएम, इतलो तूं भियेताय, आनी ते आयज ह्या दिसांनी पळोवंक जाय कितें चल्लां तें. दे आर ट्रायंग टू गेट सो क्लोज टू द क्रिश्चियन कम्युनिटी. ना जाल्यार हरशीं तांकां कांय पडोनूच गेल्लें ना. आनी तिसरें म्हणटा तें, द थर्ड इंस्टिट्यूशन दॅट वी नीड टू क्वेश्चन, माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, आर आवर एड्युकेशन इंस्टिट्यूशन्स, आवर एड्युकेशन सिस्टम itself. What is happening to our youngsters? Are they interested in studies? Are our education systems, education institutions helping our students to rationalize, to critically evaluate? कोणे कितें म्हटलें आनी सांगलें म्हणून आ वय म्हणून आयकोन घेतात, पण आपले मोतीन कांय चिंतिनात. Things like this, which are like, basic, where the rules and regulations are. If there is no philosophical thinking in our students, how will the society progress? कोण कितें सांगता ते वय वय म्हणून मानून घेतले, which comes from the power of money and political force, आणि तेच सॉल्व जातले. सगळे मानून घेवंक जाय म्हणून गरज ना. तो ही केस घेऊन let us go forward in questioning whoever says whatever. Let us even question our belief systems. Let us even question historical figures. And simply saying that it hurts religious sentiments and putting a curtain there is not going to work at all. So that's all for today. Thank you so much and continue watching.